All right. Welcome back. We're going to try this one more time. I apologize for the technical difficulty. Hopefully, people can hear me this time and things are actually working. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm actually hear me this time. Outstanding. So it seems like it's working good. I just opened up the feed. So going to talk about the government shutdown a little bit. We're going to talk about some things for you to know about, and we're going to talk about what to expect. And hopefully that you'll find this information helpful. If you don't find it helpful, that's fine too. But my whole goal in all of this is to just help bring a little bit of a peace of mind to everybody that's going through a really hard time as we approach this. And as there's a lot of uncertainty for our families. If you don't know, this isn't the first time I've had to do this or that I've done this. 2018, we actually had a government shutdown that saw the United States Coast Guard go 45 days without a paycheck. And that was a time that was very hard for a lot of the families and the service members that were dealing with that. We were able to finally see the Congress come to a resolution after the airline industries basically shut down all commerce movement in our country. And we were able to see the president and the House and the Senate come together and actually pass a resolution for a CR that opened the government back up. And immediately the Coast Guard was able to pay their members. And the impact was pretty minimal, but in my opinion, I think it affected the service for quite a while, if not still today. This time, what's different? We're looking at all 6 branches of the military at risk of losing pay. So what do we know right now is everybody should have got paid yesterday, right? So if you're looking at your bank accounts and you're on active duty, you should have received a paycheck by now. So that's fine. That's exactly what you should be getting. So that means that you should see very little impact to yourself over the next 15 days or so. The problem comes in around about the 10th or 11th or 12th of the month, whenever you need to start thinking about your 15th paycheck. Because that's when you're at risk of losing that pay. So right now, what we know is everybody's been paid, and on the 15th of the month, we just don't know what to expect. Why are we here? Is because the Senate needs 6 Democrats to agree to their terms and jump on their side to pass a continuing resolution. And without those 6 votes, they're not going to pass the House version of the continuing resolution that was passed last week. Congress is the House Republicans is out of Congress until the 7th of the month. So what I anticipate to happen is that come tonight, whenever they vote, and I imagine we'll see a series of votes where they're going to try to pass something. I don't think we're going to see it pass. I think we're going to see midnight come, the end of the spending is going to come to an end, and then we're going to go into a continuing resolution. During a government shutdown, there are certain things that will continue to happen without any changes. So you're going to see the military will still have operational funding to do the things that they need to do. There'll be certain aspects of the government that'll continue to happen. If you have some sort of disability benefits, those will continue to happen. Like I said, the military already got paid for the first of the month. That money was already processed. Most banks are already starting to process that. You should have seen it by today, if not tomorrow at the latest. But that money's been released to go out to be paid to members. Other disability payments are already starting to go through. So if you're a VA disability, you should see that money come through tonight. That won't be affected. VA benefits are funded about a year or two advanced, so we don't have to worry about any of that. If you're a retiree, also no worry about your pay during a government shutdown. Your money is in a trust, and that money is automatically paid. That's something that during the 2018 government shutdown we were able to actually get protection on, is retirees from not losing their paychecks. So you're good to go on that. October 7th is when the United States House of Representatives will actually come back to DC, and they'll go back into session. And so I think at that point we'll start to see the House either coming up with something, or the Senate working with them to come up with what they need to get a CR passed and through. But I don't think we'll see anything happen until the 7th. Now, in the top corner up here, you're going to see a QR code, and that QR code it'll take you to a platform to pay our military and pay our Coast Guard during a government shutdown. What we're asking is for individuals to take action on HR 5401, the Paratroop Acts, which has actually been introduced in Congress by Congresswoman Jen Kiggins from Virginia. I am going to attempt to share my screen. So this will be the first time I've done this on this platform. So here we go. So what we've got here is we're working with the Coast Guard Chief Warrant Officer Association. And as of yesterday, the Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer Association and the Enlisted Association have also jumped on to help make certain amenities to these things and help support. So as of so far, we've sent over 3,600 letters to Congress. And what we're looking for is as many people as possible to come in and fill this out. And it's real easy. I'm gonna fill it out for myself. So just fill out your information. I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen for 1 second while I put my address in here. Road. All right. So once you get in, it's pretty simple. I'm going to unshare my screen for one more second. I don't know why I care. Like, pretty much anyone who's on this platform has my contact information anyway. But it's all right, just in case. So yeah, actually, to show you what we're looking for here. So we're asking you to come in, put your cell phone number in here, put your title, the title that you want to be referred to as. And then under the topics, we're looking for defense and military. And then again, the same whenever it comes to this. So we're looking for defense and military. And then for this one, we're going to go here. And then again, so for the House of Representatives, for the Senate, you're looking for defense and military. For the Senate, you're actually looking for armed forces and national security. And there's already been a letter that's pre-written here for you. Protect our service members pay now. And then you're just going to hit, oh, I forgot to click a title here. Oh, I actually forgot. So you can actually go to your branch of the military and you can choose yours. So we're going to go to the Navy, Chief Petty Officer, and then Mr. Armed Forces, and then send letter. And then bam, it's done. You've just made a difference in the lives of several million service members by just informing people that they need to do this. The next thing that we would ask you to do is just click this link, follow it over to Facebook, and if you could just encourage people to please take action to support our military during a government shutdown, and share. You can do that on X, and you can also take that, and if you have like an email database, you can email it out as well. We really appreciate everybody that's helping us with all of this. We appreciate all the support as always. I'm gonna come on a few times and try to help just kind of like navigate the waters a little bit as we're doing all of this. I think that it helped a lot during the last shutdown. So if you're someone who's politically active or you want to become politically active, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. I wish this is something that we didn't have to do. I wish that this is something that I wish that we could just protect our military pay no matter what, and just always ensure that we're paying our service members. But that's just, unfortunately, it's just not the reality of it. And so we're looking for we're looking for as much help as we can get. So below, you'll see the links to the websites of the organizations that are kind of standing in solidarity right now. And Sea Service Family Foundation, which I founded in 2018 as a way to advocate for military suicide issues. Never once did I think that I would be advocating for service members losing their paychecks. It shouldn't be something we ever have to deal with. Coast Guard Chief Warrant Officer Association, where I'm actually the executive director, and we'll be working with them through their Vice President of Retired Affairs, CWO4, retired Mark Porter, great gentleman, and then naturally, the Chief Petty Officer Association, which I've had a great working relationship with for a long time. Proud honorary Chief Petty Officer in both the Navy and the Coast Guard, but always first and foremost proud to be a Coast Guard Chief because they made me one first with Jason Vanderhayden, and so I'm always happy to partner with John Ostrowski, former Deputy MCPOG, Rob Bushy over there, and then Charlie Womack, their national president. I ask that if you're on active duty, you try to keep off the social medias because we're seeing a lot of pushback on service members who are being socially active. And so just let your spouses do it. Let them get in there. Let the retirees take over and really push your message for you. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to be a part of. I always encourage membership in organizations like the CWA, the CPOA, the Coast Guard Enlisted Association, because that's really where your support comes from, right? You can't join a union, but you can join these organizations, right? That's where we become stronger, because you allow us, by being a member of these organizations and our retirees, to really take your message and share it out there with those people that need to hear it most. So if you're on active duty, stay off social media. Allow your spouses to kind of do that for you. Spouses, get out there, tell your story, share whatever you can share, put it out. Be careful where you're recording at, but this is your opportunity to really stand up for your spouses that are out there doing the jobs. And I can't stress that enough. So, go out to the TikToks of the world, go out to social media, go out to Facebook, go, build your web page. If you want, go start your own letter writing campaign with the different programs and platforms that are out there. Go to Action Network and actually set up your own. If you don't like what I've written, that's fine. I don't care. Like, take anything that I've taught you or anything that you've learned from me and become a better advocate, become a better voice for those people that you love, right? This has never been about me. If you know anything about me, I disappeared after the last government shutdown. I worked for the Republican National Committee for a while. I left that job. I was an advisor for that. I went back into the nonprofit sector. I just want to help people. So if I can help you tell our story better, let me know what I can do to help you, because that's what it's all about. So if you want help building a grassroots campaign behind this, if you don't know how to find the things that you're looking for, shoot me a message. This isn't about ownership for me. This is about just doing what's right. I've done the things that I want to do in this world. I've done the things that I want. So I just want to see my shipmates protected. I want to see them succeed and be happy. So I'm going to answer questions as I see them pop up, but I'm going to keep this thing under 30 minutes today. So we have a question come in from Ashley Totten, who's a longtime listener, good time friend. So Ashley, thanks for always sticking around with us. But Ashley asks, just tuning in, how close to shutdown are we? And quick answer, continue resolution, not looking great this time around. We are about 11 hours away from a government shutdown. So 11 hours, the government's going to shut down, and we're going to go into that protocol that we're used to. But remember, you've already been paid up to this month, so nothing vital is going to impact you right now. And then continuing resolution, not looking so great this time around. Not looking so great right now, just because the House of Representatives is on is out of the office until October 7th. I believe they're celebrating or they're recognizing Yom Kippur this week, and so they will not be in session to pass a different continuing resolution that the Senate hasn't passed yet. So need 6 members of the Democratic Party to switch sides in the Senate to pass a continuing resolution, and right now they just don't have those votes. So I always appreciate any questions or feedback that our listeners and followers have. So if you have questions after this live feed pops up, I'm going to be there monitoring the questions that pop up. I'm going to delete things that don't have anything to do with this and whatever. I'm not here to solve the military's problems, but I am here to advocate to ensure they get paid on October 15th and beyond. And the best way that I know how to do that right now is by supporting the Pay Our Troops Act from Congresswoman Jen Kiggins, who's a great leader. And so HR 5401, the Pay Our Troops Act of 2026, is really what I'm willing to put everything that I represent behind right now. So there's really nothing else to put out. So I'm just kind of taking up space, seeing if there's any other questions that are coming in from anyone. But again, 11 hours away from a government shutdown, I would be absolutely shocked if anything comes up. So there's another question. I feel like I've set it up to ask all these questions. All branches included this time? Yes, we have all 6 branches of the military: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Space Force, and the beloved United States Coast Guard are involved in this. It seemed last time no one really cared until the Coast Guard actually missed their check. Can't believe we are here again after all this time. You're right. And I wish that we could just agree as a country that we need to pay our military no matter what happens, right? Hopefully, I don't want to say that. So let's say October 15th, this HR 5401 doesn't pass. There's no continuing resolution. Chuck Schumer, President Trump, they decide, man, we're just going at it. We're not going to agree. And the Democrats are like, nope, we're either passing a budget or we're going to filibuster any legislation that comes to the floor. And let's say all 6 branches don't get paid on October 15th. I hope finally the United States government, the United States people can finally agree that we need a permanent pay solution for our military. Just like we have a permanent pay solution for our veterans, we need the same for our service members that are in harm's way. And I say that because the VA, we fund VA disability at least a year in advance. I don't remember if it's a year or 2 years in advance, but we fund that year in advance. So during a government shutdown, it would take an entire year for the United States government to not be funded to affect the pay of a United States military veteran, right? So we take care of them. We make sure that happens. Retirees, we put all their money into a trust. They don't have to worry about it. They're going to get paid. But the military, no matter what, they should get paid. I'm getting loud, so if I'm screaming and your speakers are getting loud, like, I'm sorry, but I'm mad as hell. Like, how come every time there's a government shutdown, we have to pass some stupid legislation called the Pay Our Military Act? It doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. Pay the freaking military, and that includes the Coast Guard. That even includes Public Health Service and NOAA, because they have as equally amount of important job to ensure that the livelihood of our service members are taken care of. In the Coast Guard, that's their medical corps. We don't have a medical corps in the Coast Guard. That's the medical corps. So we got to pay PHS unless they want to activate a bunch of Navy doctors to go take care of the Coast Guard temporarily in the government shutdown, in which case, I guess we'll talk. NOAA, they're making sure that like jobs are happening and satellite conditions or whatever. But to be honest, I don't actually know the job of NOAA. Next time I need to make sure I pay attention to that. But what we need to do is we need to pay our service members. Because during the 2018 shutdown, we had a service member who got killed on active duty, and they had to wait to pay that family the benefits that they were deserved because the government wasn't open to pay them. We had service members, families shopping in freaking food courts or food pantries, right? We had military, Coast Guard military spouses accepting all these donations from the local public and like setting up food pantries on bases. God bless the Coast Guard spouses, because that's what it means to be a military spouse right there. If you weren't a part of something in the government shutdown of 2018 and 2019, then you really don't know what you missed, because that was a time when military spouses from the Coast Guard got together and they were fighting like hell for their spouses. And they were making sure that the junior people had food and stuff. I remember being in Cape May. I remember starting this Pay Our Coast Guard Act movement because I went to a feed at the enlisted club and listening to these junior spouses and service members like, what do I do if I don't get a paycheck? And I remember some senior officers being in there and they're like, well, I've been through a government shutdown. I've been through a government shutdown. And I had spouses. I had spouses. I'm like, do you ever think we would get to a point where we weren't paying our military? And they're like, we didn't get paid in 1994. I don't necessarily know the extent of that, but I know that it wasn't as impactful as what that was. I know that there were E3s and below that were wondering where the hell they were going to get their food from, where they were going to. I remember the commandant of the Coast Guard putting out have a yard sale, go get a second job. Why? They got a career. It is pretty decent pay to be in the military these days. Sucks at first, but by the time you make it up to a higher rank, like, it's not a bad career. Take your benefits you get your medical, you get everything. Like, what the heck is wrong with our country? Why can't we pay our military? I'm going on a rant. I'm pissed. All I want is for the government to pay our military. And if it takes another shutdown and all 6 branches not get paid on October 15th, then I hope a freaking movement happens. I hope a movement happens. And I'll join whoever wants to be a part of it. I'll join a movement right now. If you want to go with me to Capitol Hill, let me know. Let's go to Capitol Hill and let's tell Congress, no more. CBO, stop scoring this freaking military pay so high. We need to pay our service members. And let's go make a change. Let's go make a difference. Let's go send these letters. In fact, if you want, the Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer Association, they got one better than what I got. I'm actually going to go to their page and I'm going to show it to you. It's great. Like, you can go tell Congress whatever you want. I always try to keep my messages on point, right? So let me U.S. Coast Guard CPOA. So new webpage over at the Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer Association. New executive director also, by the way, good friend of mine, Rob Bushy. Congratulations, Rob. You're doing a great job, buddy. But they got a legislative corner over there, and if you go to it, That's not helpful. Congressional bills, is that where it's, oh, here we go. Yeah. So if you go to their page, it'll actually take you to Democracy.io, and whenever you open it up, you can actually type in your address. I'll just give you my farm address. All right, here you go, right to your congressman. Anybody can do this, right? So you can type in pay our military. I can't spell, mad. Pay our military. And you can type whatever you want to these guys. I want to see our troops paid. And you can fill out your information and you can send that directly to your members of Congress. That's a pretty great program, actually. But anybody can write on it. So go over there, write on it, do whatever you want. Use mine, send the pre-form filled. It directly supports the HR bill that we want to see passed from HR 5401. But this shit has to end. We have to stop. We have to stop not paying our service members. So right now, everybody's getting paid. No one cares. If you contact Congress and be like, everybody got paid on the 1st. If you call a Democratic office, they're going to tell you, call the president, call the Republicans, tell them to do whatever. You call a Republican office, call the Democrats, call Leader Jeffries, call Chuck Schumer, tell him to stop whatever. It's the same runaround. Like, it doesn't matter what party you're a part of or what. Like, it just comes down to it comes down to partisan BS. And quite frankly, like, immigration reform shouldn't have nothing to do with the military. Quite frankly, Medicare, Medicaid cuts and whatever, that shouldn't have nothing to do with the military. Higher taxes, that shouldn't have nothing to do with us. Let us do our damn job. Pay us to do the job you paid us to do. No sailor on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Straits of Hormuz should be being tracked down by Iranians, the Houthis, and like wondering if their spouses are going to get a paycheck on October 15th. No submarine in the Red Sea should be wondering while a freaking Russian sub is tracking them whether or not their spouses are going to get paid on the 15th. No airman sitting in a missile silo somewhere should be wondering while China or North Korea are targeting us with some sort of technology, should be wondering, is my family going to get paid? No Marine should be in a battlefield area wondering if they're going to go into a battlefield, is my family going to get paid? I don't know what the Space Force does. Whatever the Space Force does, tracking satellites, they shouldn't be wondering, I don't know, are they deployed anywhere? I don't want to make this about them, but no one in the Space Force should be wondering, is my family going to get paid on October 15th? No one in the United States Army should be wondering, is my family going to get paid on October 15th? These should not be things that our military should be worrying about. I'll leave the rest of it up to the political minds to determine those other things. That's on them. That's not my lane. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I don't know anything about taxes, Medicare, Medicaid. I don't know anything about that. I didn't serve in the United States Coast Guard. I can't sit here and talk to you about immigration. I cheer the hell out of every time we go and we rescue immigrants that are trying to flee countries, because I think it's awesome what they do. Or I love it every time I see one of those videos of the Coastie jumping on one of those drug ships and like demanding, for them to surrender. I think it's awesome. I think it's great every time I watch flight deck operations from an aircraft carrier on the all hands network. Love seeing our Secretary of the Navy and Army and Air Force go be with our service members. I love seeing Mick Pond, John Perryman going out and like talking to our troops about what really matters in the Navy and what sailors need. And I love watching members of our Joint Chiefs go to Capitol Hill and fight for what's needed. But I am sick and tired every time there's a government shutdown, wondering if we're going to get paid, wondering if our service members are going to get paid. Those are my shipmates. I still got shipmates out there. I'm not that old. Most of my shipmates are in senior ranking positions at this point, but my shipmates are underway. I have 2 master chiefs that I served with that are on aircraft carriers. I don't want to worry about them. I don't want to worry about their families. I got junior ABs that are serving on aircraft carriers, amphibious assault ships, joint bases around this world. I don't want to worry about them. I have shipmates in the Coast Guard that are chief petty officers, and there are more important things that I don't want to worry about in this world. And I don't want to worry about whether or not they're going to get a freaking paycheck. I want Congress to do the right thing. If you got to shut the government down, I get it. That's on you. That's on your party. That's on whatever you're fighting for. You have to fight for that. The minimum of this country that volunteered for the service of our nation and are willing to put their lives on the lines, they shouldn't have to worry how their families are going to be taken care of while they're deployed doing their job, because they're going to continue to do their job. Semper Paratus, Semper Fortis, Semper Fidelis. We are always something. We're always ready. We're always prepared. We're always in the fight. We're always one step ahead. We're always doing what we were asked to do. Honor, courage, commitment. Honor, respect, devotion to duty. We do what we have to do. We're going to do it whether we get a paycheck or not. I got it. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to say that they're not going to do it. I'm not here to say that they're going to strike, because they can't. It's illegal. They're going to do their jobs. Where do you think their mind goes? Where do you think a service member mind goes whenever they go out and they're doing a mission, they're launching aircraft off an aircraft carrier, they're sitting outside of a hostile environment, and they're doing the job that they're supposed to do? But where do you think their mind goes when they're like, is my son going to be able to eat this week? Because we still have service members that live paycheck to paycheck. Because we know there's one thing that the military sucks at, and it's teaching financial readiness. We learned that in 2018 whenever the government shut down, and we had people out the woodworks contacting Coast Guard Mutual Assistance for pay. That shouldn't happen. Someone's going to ask me a question in a minute. They're going to ask me, are we going to have guaranteed paychecks from USAA and Navy Federal and First Command? I don't know that answer. I'm going to find that answer out. I'm going to make some phone calls to people that I know in those areas. I'm going to find out what their plan is. I do know that the last time that this was going to happen and all the branches were going to not get paid, I do know that USAA was going to do that. I do know that during the government shutdown in 2019, they did not pay the Coast Guard. The only bank that did do that was First Command. So I don't know. I don't know if your pay is protected from your banks or not. Sometimes the banks will go ahead and pay you because they know you're going to get it back, but I don't know that answer. Well, I've gone on for 33 minutes on this topic. Key takeaways. We're 10 hours and 43 minutes away from a government shutdown. The military did get paid on October 1st. You will get a paycheck. Congress is out of session until October 7th. So the Senate's going to vote tonight in a series of votes. I will be shocked as hell if they get that. Ashley Todd, and I don't know that answer. I'll get back with you. I'll answer that question in the chat because I don't know that answer. I think that the GI Bill does continue to get paid. It's a veteran benefit. It's already been funded. Tuition assistance, don't know that one. Have to look into that. But October, like I said, series of votes tonight. Be shocked. I'll be shocked if they actually get that. So, myself and Yella Samansky, we will be communicating with members of Congress on a regular basis. and Yellow's with the team, Chief Warrant Officer Association. Other people will be talking. I'll probably see if I can get some people that want to come live with me on this, and we'll talk about what's going on. But as of right now, everybody just carry on the plan of the day. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Let me know if there's any resources you need. If you need resources, I heavily support Coast Guard Mutual Assistance, the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. The other branches have their societies as well. But hey, last time a lot of people sent money to me for doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to tell you the same thing I told you then. Anything that you send me or to Sea Service Family Foundation, we're sending it right back to the Coast Guard Mutual Assistance. But this time, I'm going to split it now that I'm retired Navy. We're going to split it with Coast Guard Mutual Assistance, Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, and we're going to make sure that the money gets directly into the hands of sailors and coasties, sentinels, sailors and sentinels. I don't know what I'm supposed to call them anymore. Coast Guardsmen, Guardians, Sentinels. I don't know. They'll figure it out. But I love you guys. I love everything about what we stand for. I'm sorry that we have to continue having this conversation. I appreciate the people who have stuck with me throughout the years, and I hate the fact that this is the way we have to get together. So I love all of you guys. You're beautiful people, and we're out here. See you all about the fleet.